Hello everybody. My name is Superminer64, and welcome back to the Superminer64 podcast show, where we talk about trending topics in the Plush community, gaming, and life itself. So, I'm going to describe this as an extra, or we could say this is a podcast episode since I haven't done it in a while. There's no guests, it's just me. But a couple weeks back, I decided to watch every single plush movie that I could find on the site called Poison Mushrooms, made by Super Mario Ian. And basically, what Poison Mushrooms was, it's basically just Rotten Tomatoes, but for plush movies. And I decided to watch every single one that I could find. And I wanted to add a few more too. I watched a few more that weren't on the list, and I don't really care about those, but they're most of them were pretty But like, yeah, um, I'm gonna. I wrote a ton of notes, and before I got my Twitter taken down, I posted this all to Twitter. And I'm going to probably, when this video goes up, I'm also going to redo the thread as well. Now, one thing that I was not aware of while watching these films were that the EMB movies came back. They were gone because EMB took down all of his stuff, but now it's all back. I have yet to watch all three of them, so I do remember, or at least watch all three of them again. I do remember watching the third one. I don't want to say it in here though. Hopefully, I can update the thread once I do watch them. Um, we're gonna start from the very bottom. There's 25 films that I watched. Um, yeah, these are all my opinions and my opinions only. So half the time, and this is coming from someone who basically only watched Luigi Fan, SML, maybe a little bit of Gojira. I haven't watched much of everybody else. Um, so yeah, uh, this is completely me. I was really bored during quarantine, so let's begin with um, the worst one that I've seen. The Super Mario Cayenne movie. Of course, is by Super Mario Cayenne. Um, and this is definitely the worst one by far. I remember that um, the plot was all over the place. I remember it was about like it was a party, and Mario was doing a whole bunch of shit, and um, so they had to make posters, and they made posters, and that's all nice, and that's all good. But then, like all of a sudden, there's this new guy in town. I forgot his name already. He's the bad guy, and yeah, I don't really remember much of it. It was really bad. The camera quality, of course, is very abysmal. I was not a fan, but like Cayenne's videos were always like that. So yeah. Anyways, number 24 is the Adux Studios Final Fight film by you guessed it, Plush got Adux. This was Aduc's last movie that he made. He made several movies throughout the 6, 7 years he was on YouTube. This one was pretty. This one was probably one of the best out of his movies. The second worst on this list, though, unfortunately. Um, I remember that Adux. It was just there was no plot at all. Because it was a part of a series, Plush Battles, or I think it was. It was like Plush Battles. I remember rewatching it with Howd about 2 years ago, and then I also rewatched it for this. And both of the times I was laughing my ass off at the time because, yeah, it's funny. It's funny, ironically, because it's kind of like these so bad it's funny type of movies. But, like, it was pretty bad. What surprised me, spoilers. By the way, there's going to be spoilers, so watch out for that. Um, Fleek, which is one of Aduk's characters, actually defeated Aduk, and for the first time out of all the 6 years on YouTube, you'd be surprised he never actually filmed a video of him outside of his bedroom, outside of that little old bed. But for this final video, he's outside of his house. He's on his deck. And that was probably the most memorable part of the entire film because we've never seen something like that in Aduk's videos or his movies. So yeah, that's enough of Aduk. Number 23, The Fight official movie by Colin Beaner, Mal. Um, uh, this was Mal later told me that he did this an entire month after he created his channel. And this was all over the place. Um, but yeah. Um, Now let's get into. Wow, that was fast. Oh boy, number 22, and we'll get these all out of the way because they're basically all. There's three of them. They're basically all three of them. The Mario Adventure Day trilogy by Zomcrew 12. Wow. So they take up 22, 20, and 19. Um, the 22nd one is the first movie. The 20th is the second movie, and the 19th is the third movie, obviously. Zoncreep biases aside or whatever, they, the visuals and the music choices weren't that bad, especially in the second and third. But the acting was was not a fan, and the story was okay. I don't really see the appeal that it really had. It was just kind of okay. Um, and for the third one, I remember there was only one part for some reason because he never got around to making the second part of the second movie. Um, but yeah, they were pretty meh. Number 21, the second Super Mario Caleb movie. Um, I basically, with this one, first off, this was an hour and 50 minutes long, and I sat through the entire thing. Oh my god. That was so long. That's like one of the only things I remember about the movie. Also, someone clearly took major inspirations from Avengers Infinity War. Oh my god. The fucking similarities that this had. It just took it just was basically Avengers Infinity War. It was crazy. I basically rewatched that Avengers Infinity War, the entire like dusting scene with like I think it was Bowser and Bowser Jr. with Tony and Peter dusting away whatever, and like there was the entire dusting scene, and then Thanos was Buzz Lightyear, I think. Um, this was like 3 weeks ago, so I don't remember anything, and I'm just going off the list. But yeah, so moving on from Mario's Adventures Day, uh, 18 is the first Mario Caleb movie. These are above all of Zomcrew's movies. Um, this movie is honestly one of the so bad it's good type movies. Um, because of like the constant swearing at some points, and like it was all over the place. The Kind Master thingy, the Kind Master watermark was up there. That was really funny. And like Black Yoshi as an entirety was really funny too. Black Yoshi was there, and he was talking about something about like weed and drugs, and Luigi was like, "Can I have some?" And he's like, "No, get your own." And it was really funny. I thought that one was really funny. Um, Number 17 is 709 Plush Bros, the movie, by T. Nathan 701. That's the first C ranking. Everything below was D and F. But basically, um, a couple things that I remember about them. The Mario used in that was probably the closest to mine. And that's something I never thought I would see. So there were some major similarities between them. Um, the story was all over the wall. I remember they were like time traveling to solve an issue, and then they went back, and then I think something else was there. And the visuals were fine too. Next up is number 16, the first Fluffy Mario Bros. Movie. Um, wow. The story was alright. It got really boring at times, but it was still fine. The visuals, for a movie made in 2016, it was actually pretty good for the visuals. And I remember at the start there was a giant old man, and then like later in the movie there was like a giant Hulk fighting the old man, and like they were just going at it. Whatever. Number 15 is the Plushie Normies by Plushie Bros and Plushie Cam. It was alright. There were way too many attempts at jokes in this. I remember that there was way too much just jokes that were attempted, and then they just ended up falling on the floor and all that shit. And it was just kind of alright. Um, I thought that the Mario from the Super Plushie Bros movie, or the Super Plushie Bros, or whatever, I thought that it was way out of character. Like, he felt way more, he was a dick in that movie. He was like, no, fuck you, Peach, you fat ass. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not used to this. Whatever happened to the other Mario that I know? Before this, I've never seen Plushie Cam, so that was interesting seeing him. I've heard lots of things about him, so it's very interesting to see that. Number 14 is World of Plushies, the movie, The Sword of Demora by World of Plushies. The movie was alright, but the some things that I remember were that like the sets that were made that were like custom made. I think this is in like 2014. So like the custom sets that were made for it were fucking cool. That was like really fucking nice. The visuals were pretty nice too. The story was alright, but the pacing was really, really awful. It got really boring really fast. Plus, on top of that, there were 5 fucking parts. So I had to sit through all 5 of them. It was really fucking boring. Next up is number 13, which is Mario and Luigi Stash Bros. Big Bros Beginnings by Stash Bros. Keep in mind, I did not grow up with Stash Bros at all, so that was pretty much the first time I've ever seen Stashy Bros. And basically, it was pretty good, but there were some flaws. The music was, it was alright, but like, I'm 90% sure Stashy just like made it himself, so kudos to him on that one. I couldn't understand half the characters because they were either pitched up or pitched down. That's just kind of what I picked up from Bowser in most Plush channels. Voices are usually toned down. For Peach, voices are toned up. It's just something. It's either that or the voices are kind of unless you get an actual voice actor to do it. That was alright. And then next up is number 12, which is the Super Plushie Bros movie, which is B, the first B tier. This is a classic. I've actually seen this many times. And I remember there was just a lot of just classic tropes that I've seen in later films. Like how Luigi comes out in the end and saves the day sometimes, and like there's a team, and we'll get to more tropes later, but it was pretty good. It's alright now. I don't really know how well it aged, but yeah. Number 11 is the first Super Mario Ian movie. I thought it was pretty good. Um, and I remember this was really dumb. I watched it in VR. There's a feature on YouTube Mobile where you can use a headset or whatever, and I had this cheap headset, and I used it, and I watched it with my friend Bob Glob, the first movie, and it got funny at times because, like, it's sometimes it got too serious, and it was kind of just it was a fine film. It was because like it's borderline impossible to make like a serious drama movie like with legit like no jokes or anything and all that. It's kind of hard to do that because like they're Mario toys. How the hell are you supposed to do this? Um, Next up is the first cute Mario Bros. Movie. Um, I thought this was really good. This was really good classic. I thought it was nice. Um, it was just really nice and wholesome to see all this. I thought that Kermit's death was pretty. That was crazy. And then Jack came in at the end and he was like, I'm gonna kick your ass, and they went bam, 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 and that was nice. Um, and then 9 is the second Cute Mario Bros. Movie. I was confused where to look for this, because, once again, I didn't really grow up with Cute Mario Bros., so I didn't know which one was the second one. So they thought, or my friends in the server thought, The Blue Terror was the second movie, and I think it is. So I just watched that one too. Oh fuck, Kermit died in the second one, not the first one. I'm an idiot. I thought probably because I watched the first one and the second one in like the same run, so I probably mixed some plot elements up a little bit with that one. Okay. Next up is 8, Stashy sequel. Don't hurt me on this one. I didn't grow up with Stashy Bros, but I thought it was nice. I Of course I knew a lot of my friends really liked this one, especially one up. The voice acting were much better. The music and voice acting were like a huge improvement, and I thought the climax was really good too. Just massive improvements from the first one, and that was good. One thing that always confused me about Mario and Luigi Stash Bros. Or whatever, that show, I was confused on if they were movies or they were shows. Like, there's like if it's like compilations of like a season, because like for example, there's Mario Plush Forever. That isn't a movie. That's a show. However, you can only really watch it by the season 1 compilation or whatever. By the way, that's good on its own. If that would go at like number 2 for best, because like I fucking loved that shit as a kid, even though it was really weird. Anyways, moving on. I got off topic with that one. Number 7 is Fluffy Mario Bros. The movie 2, The Universal Course by Fluffy Mario Bros. I was really surprised with this one. I thought it was a major improvement from the first one. I thought the story was really interesting. How they got all these different characters to come in and try beating the fuck out of Mario and his team. And it was very interesting to see that all go down. The green screen was meh, but like the story was great, and it was really cultivating. It really made me go on the edge of my seat. Number 6. This one's a long one, so I'm probably just gonna read it all. Read all my notes. Super Mario Ian 3. We're getting into major spoiler territory, but like the story like was insanely dark for a Plush movie, and it showed how like after being a king, Mario slowly went insane, but like the story connected with the first 2 movies, because at the end Mario ends up turning into the weird robot dude from the first Fluffy Mario, or from the first Ian movie. And like in the first Ian movie there was a robot, and I think he was just there. I don't remember if he was an antagonist or what not, but turns out he was just future Mario. And Mario's a Mario turns into the bad guy and he ends up literally fucking destroying everything in the Mushroom Kingdom, including Bowser, because when Bowser took over, Peach ended up running away instead of helping Mario, and then Mario died, and then someone brought him back to life. I think it was a Monty Mole, and he got brought back to life, and he was like, "Whoa, I'm alive, except you're a fucking robot, haha." And he's like, "Oh man, I'll kill Peach for this. I'm gonna get revenge on this. I hate being a robot." So he goes and he kills Peach, and then it's like 10 years later, and he's just sitting there, and he's like, "Oh man, what the fuck, man?" And then I forgot if he just goes back to the past to play some shitty games that suck ass, or he just jumps off the bridge and dies. Not the bridge, the cliff. I honestly forgot. The ending in the last 25 minutes as a whole was just fucking insane. You really need to watch it. I would highly recommend this. I recommend all three of these films. The first one was okay, but the second and third ones were pretty good. Also, LTI made a cameo in here. My friend Aiden L made a cameo in there. He played Kamek, Dr. Kamek, and he was like, "Oh, hail the ruler, Bowser," or whatever. I forgot his line. But, yeah, props to him. That's one of the other things. Number 5 is the second Ian movie, which I liked slightly better than the third one, because it was a huge step up from the first one. Daisy was a very interesting villain, and we've never seen Daisy like this before. Her motive was great, and the fact that she went all out, she fucking killed a lot of people. She was like, "Bam, bam, you're dead." And she just wanted her quote-unquote happy ending, and it showed that Ian really does have a talent for storytelling. He is good at doing darker stories and doing more centered stories on Plush, and that's great. Props to him. Number 4 is the Super Mario Plush movie by Nintendo. This surprised me. Because honestly, I'm not that big a fan of Nintendo. I'm gonna be honest over the years. Because I despise his overuse of green screen. I'm not a fan of that at all. I just don't like overuse of green screen at all on Plush videos specifically. And the voice acting was alright, but the story really surprised me a little bit because I thought the story was great. It's very interesting to see a second Mario show up, and they all just go, "Oh, okay," just to see Bowser's plan normally works. I thought the second Mario's character development was great because turns out he's a fucking weakling. He's a fucking lame ass fuck, and he's all in it for the money. What the fuck? And all that shit. But I feel like the number one eyebrow raise that I had was that around the end, the dojo master guy who was Luigi, or another Luigi, I forgot his name, but he came back, right? And he was like, "I want my fame," because when Mario learned his powers in the movie, the other Luigi was like, "Hey, I'll teach you, but you better give me fame because you're the original Mario." And he was like, "Oh, okay." So that happened, and then he ended up coming back, and he was like, "Hey, give me my fame now." And Mario's like, "Oh shit." And he just beats him and turns him into gold or whatever. Well, it turns out the second Mario just inherited a power of having the Midas touch. So he turned the other Luigi into gold or whatever. But what confused me was that, what about the second Mario? What if the other Luigi and the other Mario just lived together in the Mushroom Kingdom? Because a rule of the Mushroom Kingdom was there could only be one Mario or whatever. By the way, that's a little dumb. But it should have been the other Mario and the other Luigi living together. That would have worked too. I don't know. I don't really know why that didn't happen. But yeah. Number 3 is the Luigi Time Inc. movie. This one was made by my friend Aiden. It's really old too. I've always liked this movie a lot. I thought that he tried a lot of different things that sort of distanced it from the other movies. He dished a lot of the average tropes that were used, and I thought the story was pretty nice. Um, it's your average YouTube video, but like he dished some regular tropes that I really liked, and I liked how we lost Koopa around the end of the movie, and that was just really interesting. It's a must watch, honestly. I don't know. I think it's unlisted somewhere. I don't really know or care that much anymore. It's a must watch if you want it to. If you want to. Number 2 is the Mario Plush World movie by That Mario Guy. This is a classic. I really, really liked this movie. It was such a good movie. And it gave me a lot of nostalgia for myself making my own videos, making my own plush videos with my brother. And it was very nice to see all of these classic tropes and personalities created. Like the team, like they all go and they all team up, and then occasionally Bowser shows up if there's a different villain that's not Bowser, and they all go, and then there's like it's usually Mario, Luigi, sometimes Yoshi, Peach if she isn't kidnapped, Toad, Wario sometimes, etc. And it's very interesting to see how much it just goes. It's a really good classic, and I highly recommend it. The only time I was able to see this was by a re-upload by someone. I forgot who it was. Number 1 was the third C&B movie. Now, everybody loves this movie. Everyone thought it was great, and I thought it was really good too. I haven't seen it that much. I believe I saw it once before this, but yeah. Because once again, shocker, I didn't grow up with C&B, so this was nice to see. I thought it was new and exciting, and it was much better than the other stuff that I saw. I just thought it would have been really great. The comedy was good. The story was nice, and it's interesting to see Mario and Luigi doing different tasks to unlock the key, and then he beat the fuck out of what's his face, and then he brought Gonzo. After he brought Gonzo back, and then he brought Kermit back, and then fucking beat the fuck out of Kermit and Gonzo and all that shit. Or no, Kermit was a good guy at the end. Yeah. And that was the end of the movie. So we're at about 30 minutes in. I have been rambling about plush videos for 30 minutes straight. That's a little crazy. Let's talk about some other things that we're still on the topic of plush. A couple movies. The movies I were not able to see were the second That Mario Guy movie, the second Mario Plush World movie or whatever. I wasn't able to see the second Super Plushy Bros movie because that was taken down because I remember Anthony was like, "Oh, I didn't like how it turned out in the end and the voice acting was crap," but like I don't really care. I do remember seeing it though. I don't remember much about it though, so I would have to rewatch it. And of course I didn't see the E&B trilogy. Now the E&B trilogy is interesting because I wouldn't know what to watch. I wouldn't know if I were to watch the original movies or the remakes of the movies because E&B remade the first two movies. Or he at least remade the first one. I don't remember if he remade the second one. And he did all that. But I don't entirely I wouldn't have known what to watch though. I probably would have watched the originals because first off, I've never seen the originals. I've only seen the remakes, and second off, it would have seen a more older raw version of EMB. Because usually when you think of EMB, you think of, oh God, his special effects are really good. And yeah, sure, when Aiden's turned over to Tempest film, that's when his visual effects really shine. That's when his filmmaking really shined. I had him on the podcast a long time ago, and talking to him was just incredible because he was one of my main inspirations to Plush videos. Because his videos were very interesting, and now I kind of look up to him a little bit. Video making style, not entirely personality wise, because he's kind of a dick, but his camera's just fucking great. His editing's incredible. Best wishes to Aiden now. Don't know what he's doing. I don't even know if he's doing Tempest films anymore because I think he might be doing music. But yeah, definitely the EMB trilogy I would have watched probably the originals, the original two and the third one. I did see the third one for sure, and it was very long. I think LTI was in the credits for that one as well. Or at least one of our friend group made it. Also, I never, the thing that got me while watching this, my main inspiration was mainly because of all of this new drama shit happening. Like, think about it. 2020 is the year where all of these Plush channels are awaking from the dead, usually to tell their old fan base that they're done. Like, for example, Aiden came back for a little bit on EMB, and he was like, oh, geez, I never knew how much people wanted me to come back. Well, I'm not coming back. Fuck you. And then he deleted it. And then, of course, it's archived, and I'm not going to show it because I don't want Aiden to come after my ass. And I remember that that Mario guy accidentally did a stream where he accidentally started a stream and he didn't know he was streaming because obviously he was off YouTube. He hasn't been on YouTube in about 2 years because he was bullied because he was doing Plush videos, and that's why he left. And then when he accidentally started streaming, he ended up just flat out deleting his channel after that. And then fucking Bowser Power came back. Brandon came back recently. That was a surprise. I knew Brandon wasn't doing Plush videos for a while now, since like 2017. And he was, or not 2017, 2018. And he was trying out new things. He was trying out live action, like reviews. He was trying out new things. But recently he came back to Bowser Power because he wanted to do his stuff on there because at least he still has a fan base. But I'm pretty sure he's planning on getting rid of Bowser Power. Then Cayenne came back too, announcing that he was going to delete his channel, which sucks. He ended up deleting his channel, so I archived his first movie, his crossover with Aduck, his crossover with the Joe Show, and I think a FNAF video that he did for some reason. And as far as I'm aware, I think that's what it basically was. But it was very interesting to see all of this new stuff go down. I don't know. I don't really know what this entirely means. I don't really get what this means with this. Because obviously we're getting into just tinfoil hat theorizing with this. But like, what next? What the fuck's gonna happen next? Someone else could come back. and either they would continue or they would just quit. Basically, during the lines of the basic pattern that I'm picking up was people, the plush tuber comes back for like a day, announces that he's not coming back and that he's doing new stuff, and then leaves. And then closes off the channel, or deletes it, or just moves on to the next channel, etc. I knew a couple friends have done that once. I know LTI did that for a little bit, and then he ended up going back to his old channel and doing new stuff. One Up moved to a new channel like earlier this year. And then Howard did back in like 2018, but he ended up going back. But plush videos, or at least our wave, the wave of like classic plush videos, and like the wave that I was a part of, that's done. And obviously, there's probably going to be a new generation of plush videos. Either that, or it's just going to fucking die, because plush videos are getting old. People are getting tired of making plush videos, and people are getting older. It's just crazy to see what would happen next. Because obviously there's people like Luigi Fan, I think, still doing stuff. Logan's still doing stuff. Obviously Logan's a completely different topic. Logan just kind of crashed down. Yeah. Moving on to another topic. Here's a fun fact. I was gonna do a plush movie back in 2017. I was gonna do one that was connected to my old plush series, Super Mario Brothers: The Legend of the Hands. And I remember I was a part of it. Aduck helped write it a lot, and my friend Aaron helped out write it a lot. It was very mediocre. I didn't think it would have been that good. I don't really know how well it would have gone now if I did it. Obviously, I can't do it now because Aduck's not here anymore. But I've always really wanted to make a plush movie. I've always really wanted to make a crossover too. I almost did with several people, but that never happened. And of course, I never got to do those things. I never got to make a movie. I never got to do a crossover. I just sort of done things my own way. And yeah, that would have been fine. I made a lot of dumb mistakes though. I feel like Power of the Master, Sam and I really worked hard on that, but no one fucking watched it because it was during the point where plush videos, a lot of people were quitting. A lot of people were going down, except me. I was the last one out of my friend group to leave plush videos. They joke around sometimes that I'm never actually done, but I am. I'm pretty sure I am. I accidentally brought Bare Knuckles back for season 2. Boy, that was a mistake because I knew that I wasn't gonna keep doing that. First off, I did that while I was making the last episode of Legend of the Hands, which even then was canceled halfway through. I decided to can 3 episodes because no one was fucking watching them. No one was interested in them. So I moved it down to 7 episodes, put it out, no one saw it. Of course, Power of the Master connected the story between my old series, Legend of the Hands, and this new series. So basically, there's this huge, overarching 5-year-old story of Mario and Luigi kicking some ass and saving the princess, and Mario just doing a bunch of shit in the future. And it was very interesting. I thought it was great. A movie would have definitely been good to kick that off or to finish that. But of course it never happened. If I could, I would, but I don't think I would want to, especially because everyone's moved on. Sam especially has moved on. Sam wanted to quit since like 2017. Of course, Sam grows up. I've grown up. We've all grown up. We've all moved on to different stuff, and that's good. I don't really know how where we would be if we all were still doing plush videos now at 15, 16 years old in high school. We would be fucking humiliated because, like, that's a thing of the past. That's like child's play. Like, children do that. And yeah, I was a kid at 10 years old. I did plush videos at 10 years old, and they were mostly pretty bad. But, like, yeah, I still had a ton of fun playing with my brother, playing plush adventures with my brothers. And it's very interesting to see how people came together on YouTube and just created something great. They created a community of people who made these videos. Yeah, and it sucks to see how these people come back 5 years, 2 years, 3 years after they left the entire community, leaving their fans to be all excited for them to come back, but really they're just disappointed, of course, because it was canceled. I'm here, but I don't do stuff. I don't do plush anymore. Like, that sucks, because you got fans that like when you do plush videos. You got fans that like when you do other stuff, and that's cool. But yeah, that doesn't mean you can just throw out your entire fan base, or even with someone even belittling them and calling them trash. Get the fuck out of here. Who cares about you? Why are you like my plush videos? Those are really old. Those are for children. Are you a child? Yeah, I don't want to mention his name, but who talked about him earlier. But point is, plush videos were great for its time. Plush movies, they were fine. Most of them that I saw were really fucking bad, but some of them really shined amongst the garbage pile that I saw. I'm sure EMB's movies would be in like top 15 at least, probably maybe top 10, maybe. But yeah, I'd like to close out by stating that I don't have plans on coming back to plush. I think where I'm at is just fine, because I've moved on. I learned after everyone else left that I was still doing shit. I was still doing plush videos freshman year in high school. And I realized, what the fuck was I thinking? Like, going into sophomore year, I was doing the last episode of Power of the Master. And man, I've just grown older. I've learned to do this other style of content that I think I'm really interested in, that I like. I talk about shit that I like, the stuff that I like to do. And I think I'm going great. I know not much of you people, especially people who listen to the podcast, have no real ideals of my past, of my history on YouTube. Most of it was with plush videos, because I of course found enjoyment in making plush videos. And even though nobody saw them, I didn't care as a kid. I didn't care at all. Yeah, I'm gonna close out. This was all mostly unscripted. That's why I want to count this as like a bonus podcast episode, because obviously it's just me. But yeah, that was nice. That was a nice blast from the past. Of course, my socials. My new Twitter account, which the thread will of course be on, is at SillyJacko64. I did a stupid and got my old one taken down. My Instagram is official Superminer. If you're new here, then you can subscribe. Of course, my YouTube channel is Superminer64. Mildly Intelligent, which is on its last legs, unfortunately. Yeah. Hope you guys liked. Hopefully we'll see some new changes with the podcast. We'll be coming back soon with some new guests and maybe even a new addition to the crew. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.